So I think that we don't want to establish a trend in this, okay? But this will be the second edition of the Terrible Relationships Chronicles of Nerd Night Podcast, Too Hot for Podcast edition.
Very much hope all those are behind me.
Right. The thing is that even though these times are behind us, I think it's important to bring up, problems from the past because of, people learning from it and just, trying to get better and all that kind of shit. But there are just some types of mistakes that you make that from the beginning you say to yourself, why the fuck did I even remotely want to put myself in this position? And you can probably think of a relationship or two when that's occurred.
You were there.
But imagine if that person didn't work because they couldn't.
Okay.
Imagine if they couldn't bring in a regular paycheck and help out with the bills because they couldn't.
Okay.
Imagine if it was technically illegal for you to be with them in the capacity unless they were married to you.
Okay.
Imagine if you fell in love online and then face to face, a couple months into it, you're like, I don't know.
Okay.
But then again, you're so low on the companionship scale that you tell yourself, well, maybe I can't do better.
Okay.
But then imagine, if you will, it getting to the point of, oh, it can't get any worse before you tell yourself, yeah, I can't take this shit anymore.
Okay.
I will introduce you via, I guess, illusionary visual aid / verbal aid / emotional aid to a character known as Alan. Now, Alan will hopefully never see this because he would have to pay to see it, which is why I'm.
But if you did, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your 1 month of support, or 2 months if you just didn't happen to catch this video until the second month.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
But what I will say is that this guy and my mom got into a relationship online, back in the MySpace days.
Yeah, the MySpace days. I would never do that now.
Right. But they met each other. They fell in love. It seemed like, awesomeness because my mom, she wasn't a loner, but she just took care of her kids for the longest time.
Right.
And there was this guy who was showing her a lot of attention online. And at this time, my mom was, just young, full of spirit, had some big transformations and was, looking to mingle, you know what I mean? So she, joined a couple chat rooms and stuff, and she tried to be secretive about it, but at the same time, I mean, come on, the computer was in the middle room, and if she wasn't on it on her fucking websites, me or James White were playing WoW or shit like that, and so
notifications are just popping.
Yeah, just we have to, all right,
Mom,
are we ready to raid? This dude just IM'd you a dick pic.
He's ready to raid.
I will declare this as my weapon. The sad part is that it would technically be hard mode because most of these weapons are in their 50s or 60s, and it's probably not going to be, the badassery that we thought. Yeah, it's hey, it's there. Do you want to use it?
It exists.
Right.
What do you want?
The last time I checked, I think Jesus made somebody fight with a jawbone because he was like, listen, dude, I don't have anything. I don't do that. But I would have happily taken the jawbone versus the things that I saw. And, it was no big deal, but all of a sudden the conversation changed from, yeah, there's this guy we're talking to, he's coming for a visit. Okay, fine. Like, I'm grown, my sister isn't, but it's like, you know, I take care of Katie. Mom, you deserve it, no problem. This guy gets to the country, and at first, you know, he's quiet, he's reserved, he's feeling us out. And just like me, the whole family is exactly like me. The entire family is exactly like me, if not worse than me. So naturally, there was probably a lot of fucking time in which he had to, like, you know, think about, okay, when do I make my move? When do I make my announcement? When do I make my
this
my
is gonna
first?
Be awkward.
When do I make my
kids?
When do I make my first fucking speech of like, hey, I love your mom type shit? And
hey,
like,
look,
how do I get them to care? How do I meet the fuckers out of this shit and then fucking, you know, make them understand like I'm here for the long haul, right? And so naturally, it was one of those situations in which, you know, we don't know what's going on. We're just there. We're happy for mom, but this guy, he's just, I guess he was under like the idea that, like, you know, I guess the man should run the household or something of that nature, or like, you know, like we had a weird, it's kind of weird to a lot of people, I guess, but we had a weird dynamic with our mother. Our mother was nuts. She was crazy. We would talk back, but it would never be like in like a malicious type manner. It was just how we talked to each other and each other as a family. It's a big culture shock, not just coming to America, but like, you've heard how I talked on the phone with my mom.
Yeah, but you not coming from America, coming from my family, that shit. I'm like,
no, I feel you.
I got so many ass beatings for talking back.
I understand. I understand. My mom was fucking hardcore, but like, once, you know, the kids started growing up and the hands were tired, and she was up there, it was like, I'm not beating you anymore. You just don't fuck up, and I want to unleash the demon. You know, it tapered off as kids grew up, but we developed fear based upon the stories and the wounds of others, not necessarily, you know, based upon
physical experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just got the experience.
So we did that for a long time, and this dude comes into this dynamic. He doesn't know how to handle it because there's a bunch of smart mouth kids, a fucking attitudinal fucking teenage girl, a woman who works like 60 plus hours a week because that's just what she fucking did.
Yeah, nah, I would have had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, he did. But that's the thing, you know, like, what are we supposed to do? Change? Like, you know, this isn't a resort, motherfucker. This is Frankie family villa. Like, this is normal. This is what we do on a day-to-day basis. You're not going to change anything. I'm trying to be the nice one and explain the fucking story to you. That's it. I don't know what to tell you, but you want to go talk to Dave? You go talk to Dave. Please do. Yeah. You want to go talk to Zach? Go talk to Zach. Please do. You want to go talk to Joey? Go talk to Joey. I'm talking to you, but I'm trying to like reason with you as to like the whole, you know,
we're all crazy here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, and I get it. Like, you're making mom happy, but you know, that's pretty much all you got. You know, that's it. So just take it or leave it. And it was like these little shows of you know, how bold he was, or like him putting his foot down or something like that. And I remember one time he challenged my brother David to a fight. Like, it was weird. And now here's the thing that most people like need to know about Alan, and it's a pretty like stark difference between like the normal, you know, like person and like Alan. But Alan only had one arm. So now,
okay, this whole time, I thought we was talking about a one-armed man.
Yes.
And then the whole time you were explaining him, I was picturing
a two-armed man. Yeah. It gets worse. So like, he challenges David. And maybe we were inebriated. I don't fucking know. But
my God, did he get choked out?
No, he fucking said, he said something to the effect of, I'll show you with an arm tied behind my back. Like, and it's like a which one? Because he's got like a nub and he's got like a full arm, but it's like, you know, are you doing it for like my benefit?
He said that? Not
yeah,
Dave?
No, he said that.
Okay, that's wild.
He said that, right? Like, cause that's probably like your go-to. Like, you know, if you're old school, like I'll beat you with an arm tied behind my back. You probably never thought about, oh wait, what if I only have one arm?
Right.
Yeah. And he lost it in a motorcycle accident. So it wasn't like something that he was like born with. It just happened, right?
Oh no, that's still crazy. That still make walking references.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna run.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the store real quick.
I'm gonna walk in.
I know. And that's the thing. It's not unusual. It's just how it is, right? But you think about you think about somebody like saying that shit in the moment, like heat of battle, like fuck, I'll beat you with the arm tied behind. Like, what? There's literally no way. There's none. I'm sorry. So there was little stuff like that, and then there was he was kind of being like, and it was during like the warming up phase when I guess he was just, you know, trying to like, you know, like I guess not necessarily test the waters, not like toddler style, but like I guess see how far he could get to the whole, you know, like respect thing.
Right.
But it was aggravating. Like, dude, like we're fucking grown. Yeah, like we get it. We're grown. But at the same time, like if all you had to do was just be a part of her life, don't even fucking worry about us. We're good. But like if all you're trying to do is like, you know, correct rear like 30 plus years of just rearing not been there from a male perspective.
Wait, how old were you when this happened?
Fucking, well, 21, 20.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I'm talking like I'm up to David and Joey and shit.
I'm picturing you. I was picturing you like being like 15 or something.
No,
I mean like
Katie was 10. Katie was like 10ish, right? But you know, like she didn't need no extra shit. Like, and I was already there. I was working, and that was pretty much the rule that I think everybody had set. Like, he's here for mom. That's it. Yeah. Me?
Yeah, he asked you earlier. Did you not tell him anything?
Yeah.
You said ice, didn't you?
Ice. Yeah. That way we could have a drink.
But we have ice in there.
I thought I looked and there wasn't any in there.
Oh, was there not any?
No.
Okay.
So this guy who I guess he started to become more bold with you know, how he was talking to us and all this kind of stuff, and it became a thing to where it was easier to just ignore him than like the normal stuff. But I guess, you know, there's certain people out there, you ignore them, it makes it worse.
Okay.
So I guess he would get worse, and it would become like a conversation about Katie or about us or something like that. And my mom and him would, I guess, she would talk to him, but still, it still irked us. Like, you know, don't worry about us type situation. We're not bothering you, don't bother us type shit. So one day we're irked, and me and David and James would go to Walmart. Because we're like we're stoned out of our mind.
Okay.
And we go to Walmart because the goal was, because we were in the living room watching TV. The goal was, how many things can we name that this guy can't do? Because he's got one arm.
Is this like your fucking Lean on Me song list?
This is this sorta, but that's a different story, and that's a story I can't tell until I leave nursing.
Right, but I'm saying like
it's sort of kind of. But okay. So me and David, and this is Walmart's 24 hours, like 2 a.m. Can you imagine like fucking 4 stoners walking out with like a 4x6 fucking chalkboard because Walmart had one, and fuck it, like, you know, and fuck came with chalk and everything, like, oh good, it's a package deal, you know, and we don't give a shit.
Why?
Stop at the McDonald's.
Why?
Stop at the McDonald's. We get McDoubles and fucking McFlurries, and then on the way home, and then we'll fucking just start writing this bonanza. And we get back home, and we fucking mount that bitch. We fucking move the TV and everything. It was like we were teaching class, and we didn't have a list, because like if we name the list, like you're gonna like things one arm man can't do, or you know the one arm obstacles or whatever, you know, like it wouldn't make any sense, but it made plenty of sense to us. But like you think about, you're making this list on this 4x6 piece of thing, right? And you're not writing so big that like, you know, like 10 things can take it up, but like 60 things in, and you got to start making shit smaller because it's just the wheels are turning.
It's like when you did the project and for science class,
momentum.
You got real confident with that S.
Momentum. We had a lot of momentum, and there was some classics up there. That some of them were had a lot of ingenuity behind it. So like he can't start a pull cord mower, right? Because he has to use one hand to hold the thing, right, and then hold the brake down or whatever it is, and then the other one to pull the cord. So like another one was like jump rope without a fence, because like when you were in grade school and you tie your fucking jump rope to a fucking chain link fence, right?
Yeah.
Or like swim in a straight line. Fucking classic. I mean, it's impossible, but it's true. Like you're gonna go in a circular form if you just keep on trying to. Or
at minimum, you're gonna zigzag.
Yeah,
and I know that from pushing the wheelchair.
Yeah.
When I have to pee and I have to push with
exactly,
one arm at a time.
Of course, like probably the favorite, like the most circled, starred, underlined, like this is the winner, was monkey bars. And it was like a perfect like aha, and like David said it, and he fucking did the fucking classic like laugh and just fucking bellowed through the house, and we knew we were getting too loud. And like if you think about my house, so like this is my house, and you had the living room here, you had the middle hallway, dining room, kitchen here. Up the hallway on the right is my mom's room. But like, Mom and Alan were doing their thing. We didn't give a shit. We're loud. We didn't even remember like what we were doing, and like, maybe we need to be quiet. And like you hear their music stopping, like, oh shit, and you fucking you push the board a little bit to the left. You put the TV back. You forget to cover the board.
Because you're just gone in 60 seconds.
Because you're just high. You're high, and you're like shit, and you fucking it's like the list on the fucking board. They scoot the board, but no, we didn't flip the board. We could have flipped the board, but we just scooted it and then put the TV, and then fucking act like we were watching TV while they're like coming out of the bedroom and stuff, and like we're just acting like everything's normal. And Alec comes like around the corner, and he looks at us, and we're just doing the thing with we're not looking at him, because that'd be an instant dead giveaway. And then he looks at the board, and he like looks at it, and he's like, "The fucking this fucking." All right, and then he walks off. It's like, okay, cool, no problem. My mom, like 30 seconds later, same spiel, sitting here, like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, she knew, like, instantly, like, we're up to something. Looks at the board, not fucking 3 seconds later, get this shit out of my house. She got it instantly. She raised assholes. That's perfect asshole shit right there. So
she's like, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's fucking it's bad, but like this is like, and so the next day, Mom comes home. She has groceries in the car. Everybody get your ass up, help me get groceries in. No problem. So we're on the couch. Get up, single file. James is to the door first. James meets Mom at the door as she's, cursing us out and fucking, being crazy about it, but loving. And she walks off, and he says, "Let me give you a hand." Like, trying to say hand. And Alan walks around. And so, for whatever reason, he took it personally and not as like a, I'm just saying it. Like it's a saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, either let me give you a hand, and he fucking goes off on James, and then it's a back and forth, and it's a regular verbal brouhaha, and it's fucking, he's like, you don't respect me, all that stuff, and James is like what's there to respect, man? Like I'm just here, and fucking he says something, and then James says something, and then he fucking says something terrible, and then James, at least I fucking do monkey bars. And now keep in mind, I was the only one that was underlined and starred and everything. That's probably Mom like came in, like looked and like saw that and did that, and then looked at a couple others on the list and said, oh, this is fucking things that fucking one-armed man can't do.
Did he finally get it?
Oh yeah, that was the point. She said James, and then he said, oh, that's what that list was for. And then, it's like, it was perfect, but at the same time it wasn't, because it started a whole nother brouhaha, and then we had to take the fucking board outside and fucking wash it off, and fucking we thought the second part of the story that I'll tell another time, because I can tell this one live, is we washed it off. We wrote him an apology on the chalkboard for him to find later on in the woods.
Aww.
Yeah. It was still dickish, but it was, we're supposed to get rid of it or take it back or something like that.
Right. That's sweet.
We totally did. Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry for, making fun of your disability that you caused on your own.
You didn't give him an apology?
No. I did, but we didn't. Like, we set out, we said we promise we'll apologize, but we won't promise as to what else will be written in said apology. And that's part of the Allen story. And y'all might think, well, wait a minute, that's terrible. And then you're like, well, wait, hold on a second. Is he still in the picture? Well, my mother passed away a year ago on the 26th of January. It's been a hard year, and I promised her, because she was a big fan of Nerd Night, that I would not bring up anything like this until she died. So I think this is a perfect time to bring up how Allen left the picture. And Allen leaving the picture is about as crippled as he is and this dude next to me. And the reason why is because he decided that he was not being appreciated.
Okay.
And he was not being loved the way he needed to be loved. And that he wanted to bluff my mom. He wanted to bluff her into making her, I guess, into seeing the error in her ways. Like to see, oh, I do need him around, or I do love him around. And took her credit card and booked a flight to New Zealand, where he's from, with her credit card, like a $1,500 ticket, right? And she saw it and she said, well, pack your bags, because there ain't no way I'm getting a refund on this thing. And he decided that he would, because sadly enough, I mean, you'd think maybe you'll book it for the next day so you can, try to fucking, add some desperateness to this whole
month out.
Right. No, it was like a couple weeks. I think it was a couple weeks.
Okay.
But still, my sister would remember like exactly how long it was, because that was the part of the downfall, right? So it was a sad goodbye, mostly from him, because I mean it was a bunch of boohooing and my plan didn't work and all this kind of shit, right? And keep in mind, they were like married, but at the same time it was like, what did it mean? I mean, he still technically didn't have a visa. It was crazy. It was a long, like, why is he here? But at the same time, like, why is he here? Like, he can't get a job, and he can't even get an under the table job, because how can he? He's got one arm. Like, what kind of labor is he gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, it's an awkward situation. And I'm not trying to say it like in an ableist way, but like most under the table work, think about it. Think about every bit of under the table work you've ever thought of just to fucking get by. Yeah. Not only is it manual labor, but it probably would behoove you to have two arms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not just two legs, but two arms. Because like they're probably sitting there like, we could probably pay him half. I mean, he probably can't do everything. Right. So, but the thing was, he wasn't going to try. He wasn't going to do that. And what ended up happening, he went back to New Zealand. And, I think, I'm not an uber religious person. I don't think anybody like in my group is. But there are just certain little things that I think that the universe or God or, whatever deity or faith system you might base your belief in, that there are those little things that let you know, like, hey, I heard you, I got you, you got the final laugh. And it doesn't have to be bad. You don't have to wish cancer on somebody. You don't have to wish, they fucking, lose their business or.
That is a good one though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you don't have to do that. You can just say, can I just get some just desserts? Because just desserts doesn't have to be worse than they put you in. Just desserts just means, yes, finally, everything's good. And so the end of this story because I wish that it was over. I mean, the fact of the matter is that he probably still contacts Frankie's regularly and stuff like that. Not necessarily me, but when he moved to New Zealand, it was one of those situations in which, if you're in a lot of other countries, if you're a resident or of that country, they have to provide you with housing.
Okay.
Because he didn't have a job, he didn't have any money, he didn't have a lot of things that you would need. So they're going to provide. And at one point, I think he worked, for something in politics. So he was known. He wasn't like, well off or anything, but it was one of those like, okay, we know him, like we can trust him.
He knows enough people.
Exactly, right? So they're like, cool, yeah, we got your housing. And then I guess in the hopes that my mom would send him letters, told her his address. And he lives on in other countries, just like they had the number and then they had the street. Sometimes they had the street and then the number, but luckily it's like us where he has the number and then the street, and he lives on number 1 Dick Lane.
Shut up.
Just deserves. He is on Dick Lane. He's number 1. And even though Dick might be spotted Dick, might be something just,
But it is Dick.
100% Dick. DICK. Number 1 Dick Lane.
You're like, all right.
Yeah, I can take it.
Like, all right.
No problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know now that it was all worth it just for him to end up.
This is
there.
how things were supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the story about Alan.
Jesus.